This is how many will remember Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady. As the UK's first female party leader and Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher was one of the dominant figures of the 20th century, a politician who helped to mould parties other than her own. From a modest background as a grocer's daughter, she became immortalised in stone. She was easy to caricature, hated by some, revered by others, but she did win 3 elections in a row. Before Thatcher, under a Labour government, came the widespread strikes of the winter of discontent.
Many people in Britain in 1979 felt this country was probably ungovernable. They doubted whether Margaret Thatcher could govern it. Indeed, I suspect there's a lot of people felt she might make it worse.
But she faced up to union leaders like Arthur Scargill and his miners.
She came on and through sheer force of will, she made economic and political changes of such moment that we are still feeling their effects today, 25 years on.
Public housing was sold to tenants, state industries were privatised as Thatcher sought to create a nation of capitalists. A relentless drive left an imprint not just on her own Conservatives, but on all of Britain's parties, forcing Tony Blair's new Labour Party to tack right to become electable. And she was unfussed when accused of lacking compassion.
I will not change just to court popularity.
Thatcher restored Britain's clout in world affairs, making a pal of her ideological soulmate Ronald Reagan, and insisting Mikhail Gorbachev was a man with whom the West could do business. But if she relished the wider international scene, she never much cared to see Britain getting closer to Europe.
We have not successfully rolled back the frontiers of the state in Britain, only to see them reimposed at a European level.
She was told it was impossible to win a reduction in Britain's contribution to the European common market finances. She handbagged her fellow European leaders until they gave her a rebate. And she famously insisted on fighting a military campaign 8,000 miles from home to win back the Falkland Islands invaded by Argentina, a conflict which cost 250 British lives, but which cemented her reputation.
No longer the sick man of Europe.
She never cracked the problems of Northern Ireland, although again she showed courage when the IRA blew up the Conservatives' conference hotel. In the end, her strident style and the casualty rate in her cabinets left her short of friends when it mattered. Trouble came with her plans for local council finances, a flat-rate tax that would have forced a duke and a dustman to pay the same, provoked riots in the streets. Her colleagues were alarmed too by the growing vehemence of her Euroscepticism.
He wanted the Commission to be the executive and he wanted the Council of Ministers to be the Senate. No, no, no.
In 1990, her own MPs began to doubt she could lead them to another victory. She was challenged for the party leadership and withdrew from the contest, mortally wounded after her cabinet advised her it was all over.
And we're very happy that we leave the United Kingdom in a very, very much better state than when we came here 11.5 years ago.
As her car left Downing Street for the last time, she wept. But it wasn't long before she became Baroness Thatcher, serving in Britain's upper chamber, the House of Lords. Although this was the end of her time as a frontline politician, her influence and opinion still counted for years. Her appearance became rarer as her health deteriorated. She was too frail to attend the wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton, but she did manage to get back to that famous doorstep one last time. Margaret Thatcher's place in history is assured. She was granted the rare privilege of having her statue placed here at Westminster opposite that of Winston Churchill while she was still alive. But she was a divisive figure for many in Britain, symbolising the politics of the 1980s, whose influence will be felt for many more decades to come. Dan Rivers, CNN, London.